Hello and welcome to Highway to SNL. My name's Andy. I do podcasts in my spare time, run a pub.
And this is Chris. I work in the screw industry, we'll say that. And sometimes I do podcasts and do music as well.
Yes. And this is our third episode.
It is our third episode, yes.
Yeah, and so far so good. We've had some listens. More comments would be nice, but yeah, we get more in person than we do. I think people are scared to type.
I know. Who would have thought? We hear all about these keyboard warriors.
Yeah.
We want keyboard warriors, people.
Yeah, not well. Sometimes, yes.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Someone wrote something quite offensive on. If you look up the ACM's Vault of Cult podcast I used to do, I've done an episode on Coneheads.
Yeah.
Someone's tried to be funny, and I've had a bit of trolling on that.
No,
but I was like, what? I just ignored it.
Yeah.
But yeah, here we go. So hopefully no trolls, but we will chat. So this episode, over to you, Chris.
Yes. So I think we mentioned at the end of last episode that maybe we'd take a break from talking about middle-aged white cisgendered males.
Yeah.
And so we are definitely changing that this time. We're talking about the first cast member we've spoken about who was actually born after we were born.
Yes.
Which is worrying. So we're talking about the absolutely fabulous Kate McKinnon. Kate McKinnon is an American actress, born in New York. Obviously a huge star of Saturday Night Live. She did 11 years. Yeah. One of the longest running ever cast members.
And what a quick 11 years as well.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was probably because they had at one point like 30 cast members by the end of that.
True, yeah, because the first few seasons she wasn't on it that much, was she?
No.
She was smaller. But yeah, it certainly stood out from the word go for me.
Yes,
very talented.
I think it's interesting we're talking about this period of SNL, which was never my kind of period, if I'm completely honest, about SNL. I think it's probably, I don't know, maybe I'm too old. I don't know, but it was like always up to that point. I think after I kind of fell a bit out of it and out of the loop after the people like Bill Hader and Kristen Wiig and stuff like that left, which was right up to this point. But I think despite all of that, Kate McKinnon certainly was, I think, the star really of most of that time. She
rose to become that star. It's a period that I casually still watched it because living in the UK is difficult. And I can say actually because a friend of mine would download it illegally and I'd watch it. And the reason I can say it is because he's passed away now, so he can't get arrested.
Yep.
But I'm sure he'd appreciate them trying to arrest him. But yeah, he used to when he could get hold of it, and I wouldn't watch it every week, but when he could get them. And as I say, Kate McKinnon certainly stood out. And it's a period of SNL that I do like because you got like Kenan Thompson coming through as well. And yeah, it was, I say hit and miss, but when it was good, it was good.
Yeah.
You know, with sketches like what's up with that and things like that. You know? So some memorable stuff, but it was also, for me, it feels like that's when they'd repeat the characters more than they used to, which some people would say is lazy writing, but also I think sometimes it is giving the fans what they want. It's like, we mentioned in the Dan Aykroyd episode, Coneheads, and they do one of them every season or so because people liked it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Although I think I did criticise that at one point about them churning the same characters out. But I don't think that's at all the case with Kate McKinnon. I think some other notable things to talk about, she had 9 Emmy nominations during her time.
Yeah.
She won 2 Emmys for supporting member in a comedy series or something like that. The first cast member to win a Emmy since the wonderful Dana Carvey, who I'm sure we'll be talking about at some point on this podcast.
Has to be done. But she just mentioned before that she was on a sketch show before. I've never seen it, but from 2007 to 2010 she was on the Big Gay Sketch Show, which is an American. I don't know if that was like on a smaller channel or whatever. I hadn't heard of it. I just looked at
I'd not heard of it.
But am I right in thinking that she's the first openly gay
female cast member? Yeah, she was. Yeah. I think, talking about where she came through as well. So she was one of these that came through the Upright Citizens Brigade, which was improv troupe in New York. Yeah. So prior cast members had come through that. Amy Poehler had come through that, and so again came from the sketch improv background rather than necessarily stand-up background.
Yeah. Which, I mean, as far as I know, she doesn't do stand-up.
No.
No,
She's not done
yeah,
it.
yeah. But you can tell, well, with a lot of sketches, her great improvising skills, like especially when it goes wrong or when someone starts to laugh. She always carries through. And we'll talk about some of the sketches later. But yeah, it's like I say, she started on SNL. It would have been 13 years ago. Yes. And to me, she still seems like an up and coming star.
Yeah.
And it's mad that, you know, when we talk about her films, she had a year where she released 3 big-ish films, and that was 9 years ago now.
Yeah.
So it's all gone very quickly. And it also feels like she left the show recently, but that was 3 years ago. You know, but in the way that she came into it took a while. She sort of wound down as well because she was off doing other stuff, so she was on the show a lot less in the last few series, and that's probably why she left.
Yeah. I think we talk about her film career. We will talk about her film career. I just always think it's a shame with her. I think she was one of the best actors to have been on Saturday Night Live. She trained as an actor. She went to college to study acting, and you can definitely tell in her performance.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, should we talk about films first?
Yes. Yeah. We'll go with that.
Well, I think we're just going to talk about her films. So we usually pick 3, but you say that her acting skills. There's a movie, a drama she's in called Bombshell. I don't know if you've seen it with.
I have not. I'll say that quite a few times for most of her films. I'm not going to lie.
Margot Robbie and stuff. She's not got a big role in it, but it's a dramatic role, and she's really, really good. But this has been. We'll talk about a movie. She's done a lot of cameos. Including cameos to small roles. To me, she stood out in also with Margot Robbie Barbie, which was a massive hit a couple of years ago. And I think after the success of that and people liked her character, she might be off now making more bigger movies. That's my theory.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah. And have you seen Barbie?
I have not seen Barbie.
I'm going to keep doing this for every.
Yeah.
Did you want to chat about some of the films first?
I think the her standout role really in film, and this now with the point where we might start getting some hate. I don't know, but was obviously the reboot of Ghostbusters.
Wokebusters.
Well, exactly. We have differing opinions, but both on the same side, and that's the right side of the fence, which is it's a good film, and anyone who gets upset about women playing Ghostbusters can stop listening.
Yeah. And also, I don't like that's not the reason I don't like it. I don't like it because it's not funny.
Yeah.
Well, if you like SNL humour and if you like Bridesmaids and what the director's done, it's the same sort of humour. So I don't buy that.
No,
I'm sorry, I don't.
That's the ridiculousness. It's a Paul Feig film. For me, that's my not criticism, but my trepidation around it. It just feels like another Paul Feig film in certain parts, and I just think that kind of thing probably had got tired by that point. It's just a shame that that Ghostbusters film was one of those films in the working fart jokes, the post Farrelly Brothers kind of humour. That said, aside, Kate McKinnon's character is for me the standout character and the funniest thing in it. Holtzman. Yes.
A lot of people's top 4 Ghostbusters, if you were to ask them. It's definitely the standout of the movie.
Yeah.
My only fault with the film, really, I do find it funny. There's an extended cut with more, and if you've got the Blu-ray of it, there's so many deleted scenes and where she goes off on one and does some improvising, which I think is great. I just think that the thing you don't really remember about this movie afterwards is the plot.
Yeah.
You remember the jokes, you remember the characters, but the plot is, there's not a memorable villain like in the original movie.
Yeah.
But that said, I still really like it. I think all the cast are good, but she's definitely the standout.
Yeah.
Her and Chris Hemsworth.
For himself.
Yeah.
Mike Hatt.
Yeah, yes.
Mike Hatt, funniest joke in the entire film.
Yep. But also, her character is just, she does weird well.
Yeah.
But likeable weird, not creepy weird.
Yeah.
There's a scene where she licks the proton
pack,
which in anybody else's hand would be freaky as hell.
Yeah.
It's all kind of but it's funny and you like the character.
Well, isn't there the point where she has the handheld guns and then sniffs them at the end?
Yeah.
It's interesting you say that. So I was listening to an interview with her on another podcast. Other podcasts are available, where she was saying her type of comedy, and this will come back to some of the sketches we talk about as well. Her type of comedy is 3 or 4 straight people and a weirdo.
Yeah.
That is her perfect setup for any kind of comedy. And obviously she says, I'm always playing the weirdo.
Yeah.
And that, I think, sums up this cast.
Yeah, I mean, certainly one of the sketches I want to talk about is that.
Yeah.
But overall, I think it's an underrated movie. It has already become a cult classic.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of people like it. Lots of younger people like it. I'm not saying it's better than the original, because it frankly isn't. But I'll return to it more than I do the first Afterlife, which was a big hit. If you hear background noise, I've got a housemate shouting on his phone, and there is a swinging pub fan outside and traffic. So that said, we'll just carry on, ignore all that.
We'll do. We'll just plough on as Lorne Michaels would have told us to.
Yeah, exactly. Talk on the phone, don't shout on it. Anyway, so Ghostbusters, so far I'd say it's her most memorable film.
Yeah.
So I might stand up and shut the door.
Yeah.
So if you'll excuse me for a minute, keep talking.
I'll keep talking. I'll just pad this out.
But that was released in 2016. And that was the sound of my door.
Yeah.
That was released in 2016, the same year as she was also in a movie called Masterminds. I don't know if you've seen this one.
No, I have not. No.
Small role but memorable role. She's the weirdo.
Yep.
Now this movie also stars Kirsten Wiig. Leslie Jones is in it as well, and other Saturday Night Liver, former Saturday Night Liver, Jason Sudeikis, and Owen Wilson. A few other big names in it as well. Bombed at the box office. Fairly good reviews. I think if you're in the UK, it's on Netflix now. There's one I saw the trailer for and never got to see it in cinema because it didn't get a big release in the UK. But it's directed by is it Jared Hess, who just recently done Minecraft.
Minecraft, yes, yeah.
So it's that sort of humour. And this is a director. I liked Minecraft. I liked Mastermind, but I didn't like Napoleon Dynamite and Nacho Libre. I couldn't stand.
See, where we differ, because I love Napoleon Dynamite, but I know you don't.
Yeah, it was too bigged up for me. Funny movie. She excels in it, the little bit she's in. And the same can be said, which I think it's the same year, Office Christmas Party.
Which I believe I have seen, but I have very little recollection of.
Well, that's from the directors of Blades of Glory, and went to do a lot of comedy. Assembled cast: Jason Bateman, Jennifer Aniston. I'm sure them two just make loads of films together. Olivia Nunn. I don't know if you pronounce Mum. From that X-Men film. Lots of funny people, and is it JT Miller?
JT,
so funny people in him. She plays the uptight sort of office creep, so to speak, in that. Very funny. They've aged her. You'd think she was like 50 in it. Stands out.
Yeah.
Really good.
I think the other thing, I'm going to put one that this is something you hadn't seen, but I had. Not a film, but a mini-series, which was Joe versus Carol.
Yeah, I've seen some of it now.
You have seen some of it now. So if you don't know, if you couldn't tell from the title, it's a comedy dramatic version of the Tiger King story. It seems a weird thing to make a TV show out of, but I think it works just because of the ensemble cast.
Yeah.
I guess it doesn't involve much storytelling, because we all know the story, because we were there during lockdown, we had nothing else to do, so we all watched Tiger King.
Yes.
But it's just this brilliant little piece of comedy, but also quite dramatic. I think she stands out in it because, as she plays Carol, if you couldn't have guessed, but she brings some nuance to it, and she goes from these ridiculous scenes with her and Howard, who is played by
Carl McLachlan,
who does lots of little silly business in the background when she's talking, to then quite dramatic scenes of her involving abuse and marital abuse and that kind of stuff as well. And she just is a tour de force, and it works. Her playing it quite straight for most of it, opposite the guy who I can't remember, but he's in
Hedwig, isn't he?
Hedwig, who plays Joe, and he's obviously completely over the top and ridiculous, as you would expect.
Really good series. I've seen the first few episodes, and I will watch it all. I'm not really a TV series kind of guy, apart from SNL and rewatching Quantum Leap over and over and over.
Nice.
Definitely recommend that. And it's another one that Yeah, it's a comedy drama, but it shows how well she can act.
Yeah.
Really good actor. And I just don't think we've seen enough of it in straight roles yet. Another movie I wanted to mention, two actually, where she's more of a star. Rough Night, Scarlett Johansson. It's kind of on a what's done in America, but a bachelorette party, and a stripper gets killed. It's a bit like Very Bad Things.
Yeah.
And she plays one of the friends, really over the top. It is a comedy, but she's the comedy relief in the comedy. So the sillier character. A film that it was really pushed, but I don't know if it done that well at all. I just don't think Scarlett Johansson fans really wanted to see her in a comedy, because that was when she was literally just becoming Black Widow in lots of big movies.
Yeah.
And this film sort of crept out, but enjoyable, not a memorable comedy, but she's memorable in it.
Yeah.
And another one, which I know you've got a copy of it, because
I started watching it,
and you haven't. Yeah,
I haven't finished it, but I started watching it.
Yeah, the Spy Who Dumped Me, which is Kate with what's the other actress' name? Who was the voice of Meg? Kindred's.
Why are we having this?
Yeah.
We're normally not this bad. Mira Savari. No, it's not Mira Savari. No, that's not her at all.
Mila Kunis.
Mila Kunis. There we go. Mila Kunis.
Yeah, and it's directed by the same director who done a drama came out a few years ago called Cat Person, which I really recommend. Done okay at the box office. It nearly doubled its budget, so that means it nearly made a profit. But it's good to see her in it's dual lead, really.
Yeah.
I think it's a very funny film, another underrated one. There's a poster of it in my flat somewhere, but it's been covered by action figures because I'm an adult. That's one that I saw it in the cinema, and it was released at that time when there weren't many comedies still to be at the cinema. It proves to me that she can carry a film.
Yeah.
And she's not really been given that chance since. But I think, like I say, after the success of Barbie, that this will happen.
I mean, again, hopefully so. I mean, I don't want to be cynical about American mainstream cinema, and I'm sure they could find reasons why they're not ready for her to be a leading star. But I don't think that's. I'm not going to be cynical. I'm just going to say maybe she's waiting for the right part, or
might be a bit of a spoiler, but I'm going to say it anyway. I mentioned that she'd worked with the director of Minecraft. Now, end credits.
Yes.
After the end credits of Minecraft, you see the back of a character called Alice, who's big in the game apparently, and you hear a voice. I don't play the game.
No, I'm not a 13-year-old boy. So.
But the voice, it's uncredited, is her.
Okay.
So they will make a sequel because it's been massive. So maybe she'll go on to be in this franchise and lead that with Jack Blackwell and Jason Momoa. Aquaman. She's done voice roles in Finding Dora and the DC Legion of Super Pets. She was the villain in that, which was fantastic. Have you seen that one?
I have not. No.
It's got a dog in it. It's good, but she plays the villain, and also a small but memorable role in the Richard Curtis movie. He wrote it, I believe, Yesterday. So
I have seen that.
Yeah, she shares the screen with Ed Sheeran.
She does do that. That is a thing that she does.
We're from pretty much the same town as Ed Sheeran, so sick to death of him.
Yeah,
lovely man, though. Lovely man. He probably is. I don't want to be horrible.
No, I'm sure he is a very, very lovely man who writes music that exists.
Yeah,
and people buy it.
Yeah. And I hope that on the set of that film, she was doing her weird characters and making him feel very uncomfortable.
I also believe, but it was not in the scene that was shot at Aldborough, was it?
Oh, I don't know.
Southwold. No, Southwold. They shot some at Southwold. I don't think it's that scene.
Okay. But yeah.
Anyway, that was digress.
A very average movie. Also, she's good in with the very average Ed Sheeran.
Written by the very average Richard Curtis.
Yeah, remember when he was good? A while ago. So yeah, that's her movies really. So with the sketches, we said we're talking about sketches or characters. So we do the usual take in turns.
Well, she'll take it in turns. Why don't you start? I believe I started last time. Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm going to start with probably one of the most famous characters. Really, it's a recurring sketch There was 9 times they done it, and I think one of them was actually after she left and came back, possibly. The Close Encounter, where is it the FBI have got people who've encountered aliens. Two of them is usually the guest and Strong. Cecily Strong, retelling the horrible abduction of an alien, and Kate McKinnon's character, who's like a hillbilly, really. Smoking hillbilly,
trailer trash kind of character.
Who's sort of scratching the front bottom and smoking cigarettes.
Front bottom.
But usually just resorts to childish. Well, it's like toilet humour.
It is,
and just the graphic toilet type stuff.
Yeah.
And if you haven't seen these, watch them in order. The first one, Ryan Gosling is the guest, and Ryan Gosling.
He doesn't have a hope in hell.
No,
that sketch.
He's good in it. They're all good in it. But you forget the other characters because she's so good in it.
Yeah.
And but yeah, him breaking is brilliant. They all are. Even she does for a bit.
Yeah.
But I think she's laughing at them laughing. But recovers from it really well.
Yeah, I mean that was one of her things that she would take great delight. She would hate breaking because it's very against the rules.
Yeah.
To break. Let's tell a certain person who now runs a chat show that breaking was against the rules. Not looking at anybody.
Terry Wogan.
Robert Kilroy Silk.
Vanessa Feltz.
Yeah. But yeah, so she would hate to break, but she took a lot of pleasure out of making other people break.
Yeah. You can see it in her eyes.
Yeah.
You can see it.
And she would go to extreme lengths. But one of the sketches I'm going to talk about, she goes to extreme lengths to try and make people break.
Yeah. This is what if this sketch was 15 years before, Lorne Michaels would have definitely made a pretty poor movie out of it. And it is one that there's memes of it. You always see it nowadays in the compilations for classic SNL. And in her 10 years, she's done a lot. But this has got to be up there with the most. And it is a sketch that the initial one, you can tell all the characters were meant to be funny, but that one stood out. And I don't know if you remember when it ends, when they walk off, she like grab the hand or something of Gosling, but does something to sort of comfort him in you tried, but you can't out comedy me. As she also proved in Barbie.
She did. I'm trying to remember. There was a brilliant quote from it, and I believe she uses the term to describe her bum hole. A prune shoot, I think.
Yeah. Oh, she says that a lot. Yeah. It's the character's Miss Rafferty, isn't it?
Yes.
And I put for notes, but literally all my notes say are Miss Rafferty, blunt delivery, Gosling loses it, total scene stealer.
Here we go. So some euphemisms that she has used. My taco and my choco, my hog taker and my log maker, and my baby tunnel and my gravy funnel.
Yeah.
And apparently there is quite a tome.
Yeah.
That they came up with for the various sketches.
And they didn't say front bottom, which
is
a lazy man's term for it. Which is what I am.
And it's the second one. I think it's the second one of Ryan Gosling, where she just violates him. Like she starts squeezing his buttocks.
Yeah.
And at one point she like sticks her face in them.
Yeah.
it's just bizarre. She just loses it.
Yep. It's good, isn't it?
It is. It's absolutely incredible. The last time actually she did it was her final show.
Ah, yeah. Ah, okay. So it wasn't a comeback. That was
no. It was her final show, and she actually finally they say, the aliens are going to give us technology, and but we need to give somebody up. And she's like, well, I know, see where this is going.
Yeah.
And then she says a really poignant line, which is, I always, that's okay. I always felt like an alien amongst you guys anyway.
That's it. Yes. Yeah.
And I think that's, and again on this podcast I was into, she talks about that quite a lot. That she always found herself an outsider around people, and that's why she plays characters.
Yeah.
Because as a character, she's not herself, and she can express herself, but she's a very private person.
Yeah. I mean, she's not got any social media or anything like that. And she was on that podcast, but I haven't seen that many interviews with her.
It's the only podcast I could find that she's actually been on.
Yeah. So very private person. But also, I think she's quite a serious person. She takes comedy seriously.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like you say, she hates breaking and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But it's clearly her passion, and just dedicated, and not the sort of person. She's not your Chris Farley who'd go out.
Whoa!
You don't hear stories about her going out getting drunk and doing.
No.
And if she does, she hides it well. So good on her.
Yeah.
So next sketch or character.
So in the same vein, and this involves, again, harassing the guest star and making the other cast members break, is Madame Vivelda, the psychic. So the setup is 4 friends go to see a psychic, who is played by Kate McKinnon. Again, 4 normal people and a weirdo.
Yeah.
And as she tells each of their futures by reading their palm, she just makes up that their futures are going to be. They're not even that horrible or nasty. They're just dull. Yeah. It guest stars Adele, who is awful in it. But it's like, I can see on your future. She's like, oh, am I going to get a promotion? No, colouring books. You will buy many adult colouring books. And all her friends are like, oh, you colour? It's like, no, I don't colour. It's like, no, it'll be Monday, colouring. Tuesday, colouring. Wednesday, colouring. And she gets right in Adele's face. Yeah. And Adele has to turn away from the camera because she's just cracking up. And it just escalates from there. And it is just, everyone else is there kind of as a afterthought for her to be someone to speak to. So she's not doing a monologue, but it is pretty much a monologue.
Yeah.
And again, she physically, with Adele, she grabs her hand at one point, smells it, and gets gets nose to nose with her and stuff. And she apparently that was one of her things, that she felt like she needed to be physical with people. In terms of, she was like, well, I never want people to believe that they're just reading cue cards. That somebody, if you physically touch somebody, if there's a physical connection there, it feels like it's more like acting than just people reading cue cards.
Yeah, I mean that's one thing SNL has been criticised for over the years with the guests, isn't it?
Yeah, and to be fair, some of the cast.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah. Can all be Christopher Walken?
No. And bears are funny too. That's gonna be an Easter egg. I'm gonna keep coming back. I'm gonna come back to that all the time. What else have I got? The final comment. Actually, another couple of comments which I just laugh out loud funny. I believe this was written by Chris Kelly and Sarah Schneider, who were the 2 writers she got on closest with. Another one of my sketches was written by them as well. I think she felt like she could work with them because they had her voice.
Yeah.
For these characters. So it talks about how one of them goes to Kansas and he gets a rash on his finger. It's like, and then you'll spend the whole day crying and asking, is this how it starts, just a rash on the finger? And then talking about, you'll have a chat with your dad on Zoom. What Zoom? I don't know, but you'll have a chat with him. But his wiener will be out. And it'll be embarrassing because it's a tiny wiener. But then it grows and it's okay.
Just weird.
just weird. But yeah, I think that's going to be the ongoing theme. Is weirdness. And the final comment is brilliant because she literally, to end it, straight to camera, says, J.K. Rowling, stick to writing books.
Ooh, yes.
Which is a very, very valid comment.
Yeah, I'd say don't even do that.
Well, yeah.
Sorry.
True.
I'm not a fan
Certainly
of Harry.
Stay off X.
Yeah. Okay.
And stop being horrible to people.
Yeah, you meanie.
Yeah.
We should do an episode on her. No, we shouldn't.
No, we really shouldn't. No.
But that's what we're sort of in between the sketches here. One thing with Kate McKinnon I think I pick up on is if there's a guest she doesn't like, you can tell.
Yeah.
Like when Trump was on, and when Justin Bieber was on. It's like she wants to irritate them.
Yeah.
And with Trump at the end, she was nowhere near him.
No.
She was nowhere near him. And I think, I say she's a private person, but she's got her views.
She's not unforthcoming with her views either.
No, but that shows in a comedy, because I think I agree with most of her, if not all of the views that I've heard. So I can relate to it more, and that's probably another reason I find her funny.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just wanted to get that in the middle. Anything else on that one?
No, that was me on Madame Vivalda.
Okay, so I'm going to do another one. What they done 9 times. Recurring sketches where she plays Barbara de Dieu. Whiskers are we? Now, this is the word weird, right? My notes it says weird. And with this as well, she has a guest, and it's like a cat. It's like selling cats, aren't they? Just there's what I love about this character and these sketches is each guest will be another weirdo who likes cats or whatever. Starts with Charlie. I always forget her name. The one who's in Mad Max Fury Road.
Charlie Thorne.
Yeah, who was also in Bombshell.
She was.
The first sketch, which I usually base these all on the first ones, and she's the guest who clearly fancies the character of Barbara, while trying to sell these cats. And so much I like about that, there's the interaction between them two, then the interaction with the audience because it's done like a commercial, and then they'll go off on weird little stories about each of the cats, and then there's the line, and it's not delivered by her. It's the guest is the one of the cats basically says that she'd like to adopt the cat, and then she goes, but I should probably think about get my children back first. Just little lines like that. But yeah, another one that it's her and a guest, and she'll break the guest usually, but it's like a freeway one because, as I say, it's 1-to-1 with the guest and then the audience, and that weird look she does in her eye, and that character could be seen as menacing and scary and just psychopath. Yeah. But the way she does it makes it hilarious. And then you've also got there's live cats on the set crawling over them, and it always looks like it could go wrong at the last minute. And there'll be the dialogue's funny, then it'll pause and the cat will climb over her while she just stares at the camera. I think it's brilliant, and all 9 of them are amazing. And I wish there was stuff like this actually on TV, as in actual adverts like that. And I'd decide that I'd probably have 30 cats around about this flat. Yeah, if I could. But yeah, that's another one that it was when I was watching these. If I put an episode on and that came on, I was like, yeah. So yeah, that's anything else for that? I mean, no. I think again, live animals in SNL is always fantastic. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a single sketch on SNL that hasn't got a live animal in that hasn't been brilliant. Yeah. And obviously, Massive Headwood Harry immediately comes to mind as well. And it's just the chaos that the animal brings. Yeah, is fantastic. And obviously, who can forget Toonses, car driving cat? That wasn't a real cat. What? Anyway, sorry, we're broken. What's next, sir? So, I guess my other 2. I've gone for the weird for the first one. The other 2 are pretty much standard SNL fare, really, but just done perfectly. Next one I'll go for an impression, which she did many times. The first time she did it, I believe it was the first time she did it, was another fake advert, and that's, again, somebody she doesn't like, her Justin Bieber impression, which is perfect for an SNL impression, because you've got impersonators who are exactly like that person, and it's great, and there's a whole history of celebrity British impersonators, certainly, who I could, talk about. And whenever they're doing an impression, they always have to do, imagine if so-and-so was doing this. Or they have to start with, like, my name is Margaret Kent, or something like that. SNL, they don't need to do that, because SNL impressions, and again, she was brilliant at it, and there's many others who are brilliant at it. It's like the person, but 10% extra. Yeah. So you immediately know their mannerisms are a bit more, their voice is a bit more, the way they talk is a bit more. Yeah, and her pick on something and then exaggerate it insanely. And so her Justin Bieber is incredible. So the first one she did was mockery of his Calvin Klein underwear advert. Choice lines is my pee-pee's in here, my pee-pee's safe and secure. I'm a big boy now. And it's just... There's not that much fun apart from that little pee-pee joke in it. Right. It's just funny because it's so good. Yeah. You just think it's Justin Bieber, and there's stupid things like he can't dunk a baseball and basketball and stuff. And he thinks he's cool. But that's just Justin. That's why we're laughing at Justin Bieber anyway, and now we're laughing at someone who's Justin Bieber plus 10%. Yeah.
And it's very similar. I could have picked her Ellen DeGeneres impersonation as another example, because it's Ellen but 10% when her legs go crazy over the sofa. And I think there's one where she's talking about she does a prank on somebody who was in Captain Phillips. He played the main pirate in Captain Phillips, and she's doing a joke on him. And then it cuts back to her and she goes, "Wow, he's really scary. I thought he actually was a pirate." It's like, okay. Yeah. I didn't want to talk about the Ellen DeGeneres one because I started talking about Ellen DeGeneres. Hostile work environment. But yeah, it's just a brilliant little, and she did it loads of times. She did it in my favourite, probably ever ongoing sketch, which was Celebrity Jeopardy.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just a perfect SNL impersonation, done very, very brilliantly. And also a woman playing a man, very much changing the standard thing that is a bit passé.
Yeah. It's another memorable one. When I think of Justin Bieber, I don't often go around thinking of Justin Bieber, but I think of her as him, not him. Yeah. Which is weird, and probably a lot better. When he came on to host, I got the vibe he didn't like that impression.
No.
But, and I'm glad.
Yeah. Good.
I'm not a Bieber fan, really.
You're not a believer?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
No. Shall I do my next one?
Yes.
Is another impression, actually, sort of, but it's a sketch, not a recurring one. Cinema Classics, The Birds from 2020. We're going out on the 28th of November. Where it's basically Rhys DeWatt, played by Keenan, which is a hilarious character. See, these sketches were recurring about they're just films, deleted scenes from The Birds. Yeah. Deleted from different films. And this one, The Birds, stands out to me because she does a brilliant impression of Tippi Hedren.
Tippi Hedren, yeah.
Who Scarlett Johansson played in a film. Yeah. All these connections. But it's a deleted scene, a fictional deleted scene, of explaining why the birds were angry and stuff. She's spot on doing the impression. You've got the outro by Keenan, which is bizarre and hilarious. And then really poor bird special effects, which is funny. It looks like the 60s, and it's just mad. It's when I being a film fan as well, this sketch really stands out to me because I love Hitchcock. And it one thing with The Birds is what's going on. You don't know. Yeah. The ridiculous. I'm not going to go into. I don't really want to spoil it. Because this one you can find on YouTube easily. Watch it. It's brilliant. And all the people who are in it are great. But she does all this craziness going on. But then she does this spot on impression, but exaggerates it. That 1960s acting. It's great. It's a 5-star sketch in my opinion. Nice. Yeah, that's me ranting. When you're finished, after you've rated this 5 stars, so we get more listens, and go and watch that. Yeah, but rate first and like and share with your friends. Yeah, and family. Yeah, them too. Yeah. My last one is again. I think I've picked it for all 3 episodes we've done so far. One of these. It's one of my favourite things. It's a fake TV show. With an intro and everything, and always the intro is sometimes longer than the sketch, which definitely is in this case. So this is a fake 70s buddy cop show called Dyke and Fats. I will come to the point where I can openly say that. It's called that. It's fine. Apparently it came about. It's her and Aidy Bryant, who were brilliant together. They had a brilliant partnership. Apparently it came about because they were writing one night and they were both tired, and she went to Aidy Bryant and said, "Oh man, Dyke is tired." And Aidy Bryant said, "Oh man, Fats is tired too." And the sketch was born. So it's a police 70s cop show. The opening is just a standard thing of them jumping over cars, all the rest of it. And then they announce that they've got fake actor names. I didn't write those down, unfortunately. But you've got the character of Les Dykovitz, or Dyke, and Chabina Fatsarella, Fats. And they fight crime, and they're Chicago's best 5 crime fighters. And then it cuts to the clip of the show, which is
and it works even perfectly now in hindsight, is who's in it. And they did it several times, but the first one, it cuts to them being praised by their police chief, who is played by Louis C.K. Oh,
yes.
Yeah, Louis C.K. If you don't know what Louis C.K. did and then didn't apologise for, look it up, because he's a horrible man. But it cuts to him and he's like, "Oh, well done." And he's like, "Oh, geez, thanks, Chief." And he's like, "Yeah, another case solved by Fats and Dykes." And they go crazy. Go, "That's our word, you can't say that." Which is brilliant, because he deserves shouting at that by women. Maybe people should have shouted him, "Put your penis away from us." I'm going to get away from the Louis C.K. thing now. They did a follow-up, which was Fats and Dykes Dyke and Fats Save Christmas, with John Cena as the police chief, who refuses to call them by their nicknames, calls them by their first names, which they appreciate. And then he says, "Yeah, it's great what you broads are doing," and then they get angry about them calling them broads. So it's a silly thing. I think you see the name of the... I'm not going to say it again because I think I've said it too many times. You see the name of the sketch, and immediately, when you know who's in it as well, you know what the joke is. You know why it's funny, and you know it's going to be brilliant.
It's classic SNL, that.
It is.
It is. It's like traditional. You could imagine that sketch being in the 70s cast, and still work. Yeah, it works.
Like,
ageless.
Rather than, it could have been obviously different names, but it could have easily been the 70s cast. It could have been
Belushi and Aykroyd.
It could have been Belushi and Aykroyd.
Yeah.
It could have been Farley and Spade.
Yeah.
It could have been Bill Hader and
Come on, Michaels, make a movie out of it. Come on.
Well, that is the thing. She would love to actually have a movie made out of it. She's actually said she wants it to be made in a movie, and Aidy Bryant's in as well. So come on, Lorne, I know you're listening.
Yeah.
Make a movie.
Yeah.
Because who wouldn't want to? You couldn't release under that name. You could have done the 80s.
Yeah.
I think people would get the wrong end of the stick and then get angry about it for no reason, not realising the joke.
Yeah, get T-shirts with it on and stuff. But yeah, it's great. That's one I'd sort of forgotten about that, really. But yeah, that's one of my favourites as well.
I think it is again 5-star classic SNL.
Yeah. So yeah. Anything else on this very talented person? The future's bright.
I think the future is bright, and the future should be hopeful for her.
Yeah, this is my only concern is she hasn't properly broken through yet. No. I still don't. It's name familiar fact, but it's them small roles, which I mean, it depends on because when she was a scene stealer on SNL, and put her in a film, a small role, and she does that as well.
Yeah.
So maybe it is that worrying of carrying a movie, because the only time she's really done it is with four people in the Ghostbusters remake, and then with 2 of them. So she hasn't had a film herself yet.
Yeah.
But I think that's the way it's going.
It's a very odd thing that she's not had anything to carry her.
Yeah.
Yet. And everyone else who you would consider in her ilk in that cast. So that kind of person in that cast. So you've got your Dan Aykroyd and your Belushis in the original cast, and Bill Murray's.
Yeah.
And Chevy Chase's went on film careers. You've got later on Will Ferrell was that kind of person. Huge movie career. Adam Sandler most of the time because he pays for his films to be made. Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
Don't hate me in the comments for that. That was a joke. Was it true?
Gotta love the Sandman.
You gotta love the Sandman.
I like Sandman.
I like him as well. I just like to wind people up.
He'll crush you.
Oh, shut up! Yeah. But all of those other people have had huge careers afterwards,
and they're all male.
And all straight.
Yeah, that's true. So we'll see, because I think we could say, I think the next episode we're going to talk about Gilda Radner.
We are indeed, yeah.
And she is someone out of that original cast who you'd think would have gone on to be a big film star.
Mm-hmm.
Done a few movies, not many, and that's something we'll probably talk about in that episode. But she, from series 1, there should have been a breakout female movie star, and there wasn't.
Yeah.
The closest we've really had is Kirsten Wiig, I'd say.
Kirsten Wiig or Amy Poehler. Well, not really movie star. Amy Poehler's mostly done. Tina Fey, but again, Tina Fey's created her own path.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, hopefully, if anyone's going to do it, Kate McKinnon be the first, is the person to do it. So yeah, we'll hopefully in a couple of years' time we'll be on another episode talking about a big hit movie that has just come out.
Yeah.
I do want to mention as well the news on there being a
UK
another attempt.
Another attempt.
Because the 80s, and was it 80s or early 90s?
80s, late 80s.
I mean, it's not, it's Harry Enfield and Rick Mayall and stuff were in it, and it kind of didn't work. There's some memorable characters like Loads of Money and that sort of thing. I think if they do the format the same as America, I don't think British audience will get it.
Well, that's the thing. They've said because Lorne Michaels is going to produce.
Yeah.
But is he going to produce? Because Lorne Michaels, A, is an old man now.
Yeah.
B, is very, very much tied up in SNL. I mean, he produces. I think even he doesn't produce that many films that he used to, does he? He's not not like he was in the 80s and 90s.
No. But why? I don't mean. So, are they going to do it with British comedians?
They said British comedians. They said the top talent of British comedians. So it's going to be. I'm going to say it's going to be Jimmy Carr.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
McIntyre. That's
I think. Well, yeah, it's Sky, so they can afford who they want. And are they going to pick the people who are the people on the fringe, like SNL has always worked like that?
Yeah.
And it's going to be the people who are a little bit different, but you've got to, work with them and see how talented they can be. Or is it they're literally going to find the best people? I just did inverted commas there. Yeah. That by best, I mean who people want to go and see in the O2 and just pay them lots of money.
Yeah, I mean, I think it could work if the cast are unknown, and then you get actors and your likes of Michael McIntyre as the hosts. But I still think we haven't really got the improv over here like over there. It's stand-ups here.
Yeah.
So they'd get stand-ups and actors, I suppose. Don't get me wrong, I'm up for seeing it, but if I'm honest, I don't think it'll work.
I mean, we had some things close to it. So we had the 11 o'clock show.
Yeah.
Which was close to it. It was most of it was like update. But you then had slight sketches and monologues and things like that in there. That vaguely worked. But again, it was live.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess we'll have to see. But I'm not overly hopeful because I think this might just be people earning a lot of money and they're not going to be that. It's not going to feel like SNL.
No.
It'll be like Saturday night on the London Palladium.
Yeah, just bring that back instead. Yeah. Jimmy Tarbuck's still about.
He is.
You're going to see him next week with me dad.
Hey.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's so American, and it's kind of what I like about it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, are they going to get guest stars from EastEnders? Is Danny Dyer going to be on it? Or are they going to mix it up and get some film stars in? But we'll just have to wait and see. The response hasn't been great from anybody whenever, but they might shock if they do so. I think if they do it a bit differently, I mean, Update could work in the UK. Our sort of humour, you could do that.
We've seen that work.
Yeah. We don't really have the cold opens on anything here.
No.
Just the whole vibe of it's New York. So are they going to do it like in the West End and live from Leicester Square? It's
They could do it from the Leicester Square Theatre.
Yeah, that would be
It would be very small.
Yeah. They probably this is a weird thing. Would they do it where they film Gladiators at the Birmingham MC or something?
Yeah.
I don't know. But I don't want to be all negative, but we'll certainly talk about it once it's at the end of the episode when we're trying to fill it to an hour like we're doing now. We can
Yeah, my biggest fear is it's going to be like Ant and Dec's Saturday Takeaway. And there's that doubt in your mind as well that it's going to be like that.
But this is the thing, it won't go out any later than 9 p.m. because they're scared no one will watch it. But the point is, it's a late night show. And
the thing is, as well, late night in this country can get away with so much more than you can in America. NBC, you couldn't get away with anything, even if it's 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah. But that's another reason why it kind of works, because you don't have the effing and jeffing.
Yeah. You have to work around it.
Yeah, with like we were saying with the body part terms, that's why that humour works. So we'll see. But I see it going two ways. One, it trying to be American, when it won't work. And the other way, if it'd be too British, then it's not SNL. Yeah. So we'll see. Maybe they'll do a bit of a Whose Lines It Anyway and get some cast. Yeah, like when Whose Lines It anyway went to America, there were some
Yes.
British people went to it.
Yeah.
So there might be some Americans come in.
Might come over.
That could work.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we should probably wrap up because all our phones are beeping.
They are. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like there might be some big emergency that we need to. Yeah. But thank you all very much for listening.
Indeed.
We're on Instagram.
We are on Facebook.
Yeah. You can listen on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, and Amazon.
Amazon. Yes.
Yeah.
All of those good
All of
places.
If you listen to them once on each, that'll help us.
Yeah. Or what you could do is you could get four Bluetooth speakers and stream one of them different. All of the 4 speakers, you get stereoscopic sound.
Yeah.
But also we'd get 4 listens from 4 different channels. That'd be awesome.
That'd be brilliant. And also share and stuff because for all we know, this might get picked up, and then we should get them to on the British SNL.
Exactly.
And then our tunes will have changed, and it'll be the best show ever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, but they'd be mad having us on there. Anyway, thank you all very much for listening, and we'll be back in about a month and talk about Gilda Radner.
Gilda Radner. Bye bye.